Dave, congratulations. 8 straight wins now, top of the league. No manager of the month curse, you must be delighted.
Yeah, listen, today potentially a tough game, and then you add weather conditions into it, becomes more difficult. First off, a different type of game, so we get that goal, and then we have that opportunity Louis has straight after it to make it 2. And then, to be fair, I spoke at half time. There's a feeling amongst the players that the next goal becomes important and we need to move the ball quicker. Sometimes if teams set up to not allow you to hurt them behind or with spaces in front, you've got to be patient. As much as I don't want to play a lot of games like that, if we had to keep the ball between Ethan, Aki, Ben and Fraser and the game finished 1-0, that was where the game needed to be won. As it turned out, we go and get the second and third goal, and our second half performance was brilliant, and we should have won by more. It's never a penalty. We'll get another email on Monday with an apology. They didn't deserve, or we didn't deserve to concede a goal, and that's been taken away from us. But like I say, a difficult place to come, and a really good performance and win.
As you mentioned there, in terms of how they approach the game, it's happy to let you have the ball really and sit deep. How crucial was it to get that early goal through it? I love a bit of quick thinking by Maka with the throw-in.
It's always going to be crucial, and we spoke at half time around at some point does their game plan change in terms of what they do. In fairness, when it went 2 they didn't really change too much, but it's always going to be difficult because the wide midfielders jumped, but essentially their back 4 and the 2 holding midfield players went nowhere. So that's going to make it difficult. I don't care what level you're playing at. It's tough to play against. We again thought straight away around what effects can we have from the bench. So it could have been a day to day in terms of how they set up for lighter rucks and play more direct and pick up counter press opportunities. But to be fair, the lads that were on there figured it out, especially at the first 15 minutes of that second half, and got ourselves into a winning position, which allowed us to make the change that we did and try and protect the few.
With those front 2 causing so much problems and taking the attention of the defenders away from it, it's really allowing that space for Anthony Sarcevic in behind him to thrive really at the minute.
Yeah, not so much today. The areas, to be fair, were probably slightly wider areas in terms of in front of the fullback. So it was tough in the first half, and we needed him and Will and Odin to a certain degree to be patient and stay in them slots and be in a situation that if the ball did come to him, then do your damage, and if it didn't, then don't get frustrated and go and pick up areas that we didn't need to risk, because there was no reward to it in terms of dropping deep. Excuse me. But as the game opened up, and they didn't so much really change their shape in terms of the midfield 2 moving, I suppose their front 4 got detached, and that then left more holes. Josh Fulham started to jump a little bit, which gave Sars and Odin certainly a little bit more space, and that's when they become dangerous. As was, like I say, as was the case in bits in the first half, but an awful lot in the second half.
Yeah, you really upped it in that second half. Louis Barry in particular, we've seen teams start to double up on him really in recent weeks, but we had 2 players on him for the second goal, and he's gone through the ball for it. He's just electric.
Yeah, I've said before, his balance, he picks up, like I say, positions and tiptoes along touch lines and bylines that you think there's no way he can stay up, and he stayed up again at the second half twice. We obviously got a goal from it and then got another opportunity after that. So yeah, he flipped over and went the other side. I think that'll be something that he needs to do better. Again, to recognise that down one side of the pitch they may be dealing with it, but go and try things. He's playing as a centre forward. He likes that wide left half space, if you like, but there's no reason why he can't do it on the right as he showed today.
As you say, real frustration with the penalty decision, but in terms of how your side reacted to that and managed the rest of the game, that must have been pleasing as well. You still look like they're more likely to score.
Yeah, really pleasing, because what you don't want to be, like I say, we're in total control of the game, that momentum shifts quickly in football. We spoke about that before today in terms of the run we're on and trying to maximise that as best as possible. That happens in stages in a game, and we're in total control. We scored the third goal. We're looking to bring our two strikers off and replace with Woods and Paddy, and then a penalty is given that's nowhere near a penalty, and you've seen it in other circumstances. That could then flip what happens again, even within the game's 3-1. If they get another opportunity or another goal, then all of a sudden you're hanging on in a game that you're absolutely comfortable, and that's something, like I said, it needs to be controlled, especially at Allison. I've not seen it back, but I'm willing to be pretty certain that what I saw from 60 yards away is the same as what he saw from 10 yards away. The fact that he thought about it and then blew probably suggests that maybe what he saw wasn't right. And like I say, thankfully it's not damaging to us, and we did manage to control that last 15 minutes, like I say, really well.
I know you'll tell me it doesn't matter who's top in October, but I'm sure you'll have seen the Notts County result going into the game. Is that something you were able to use as extra incentive for the lads, the opportunity to go top today?
No, incentive-wise, we knew what the result was. The players knew what the result was. That's not something that we're going to say, oh, by the way, we have, like I say, an opportunity to go top. We had the opportunity to win another game, and we spoke before around these types of runs. Look at Mansfield. I think Mansfield are 16 unbeaten now, and unbeaten runs, I suppose lots of teams can go on unbeaten runs, and there'll be draws in there. To, like I say, from our perspective, to win 7 league games on the spin and a cup game, so to win 8 games on the spin in terms of first team fixtures is a real good effort, and we now have a little bit of a break, if you like, in terms of a week, which is a long time for us in terms of where it's been. And then you do a Saturday, Tuesday, Saturday, an opportunity to pick 9 points up in a week. There aren't loads of those type of weeks left in the season, apart from cancellations and postponements and things like that. So the Saturday, Tuesday, Saturday fixtures are big ones in the grand scheme of things. So we need to recover as best as we can. Next week will give us an opportunity to get more players back and more minutes into players and more load into players, which again will help the squad when we go into those run of fixtures in a week's time.
Yeah, it's Grimsby up next. They've obviously lost the Waterfall to suspension today, a big player for them. They've been a little bit of a bogey side in recent years, but I suppose with the way you play, you go into every game confident.
Of course, I said to the players at the hotel, to be fair, when you're winning games, it should become easier. It doesn't. It becomes harder, because at the minute we do feel confident. You do get that sort of indestructible feel about what you and how you're going about things. But ultimately, then mentality-wise, you've just got to be able to keep churning out variables that you can control, so the application, the attitude to work hard, to want to keep the ball out on net, and all them things. And you come up against a different challenge every week, different challenge today in terms of how they set up, and no doubt a different challenge next Saturday when we're at home. So whether it's an all singing, all dancing, all action displaying, and we steamroller teams, or whether we've got to adapt and whether we've got to dig in and not be good at times, but ultimately we come up with 3 points. That's where we need to be at, and obviously with the run we're on, we're really motivated to make sure that continues and to keep doing that.
Well done today.
Cheers, thank you.